Right, there we go. I hope that's working. It looks like everything is at the moment anyway. So hopefully I have a more successful attempt than the last time I did one of these, which was for the 1.7 update. And that had all sorts of problems that just caused me endless hassle. So today we are looking at the YoloBox Pro from YoloLiv. People call it YoloLiv. I don't know if it's YoloLiv or YoloLiv. It's spelt YoloLiv, but I guess it makes a lot more sense for it to be YoloLiv, doesn't it? So anyway, yeah, today I'm looking at the YoloBox Pro firmware version 1.8 and the new features that it brings. I've been organized enough. The reason I did that rather silly, overly dramatic, epic, cinematic intro was it's a bit of a taking the mickey really out of whenever we do a meeting in my day job. A lot of the kind of if the kind of chief exec comes on or something like that, he always has this intro which is just overly dramatic and full of all these random sort of stock clips and stuff. So I thought, well, I'm going to put my own together and make it just excessively dramatic. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed that. Right. Anyway, down to business. Let's take a look at what we got. So what have I got here today? I've got my main camera here. I've got my little presentation here on the computer as well. And I've got my camera here looking at the YoloBox itself. Hopefully that's bright enough. Yeah, that looks clear enough, doesn't it? That looks okay. Cool. Let's get started then and see what we've got. All right. So version 1.8 was released today, I think. And they've got a load of new features. And the first new feature I'm going to look at today is the new number of video sources that you can have, because previously you could only have 6 video sources at one time. And for anyone who's new to YoloBox, I'll just kind of explain what is meant by a video source, because it might seem logically that it's just an HDMI input or something like that, or webcam input or something, but it's actually anything. It's anything you create. So it could be a video on an SD card, or it could be a combination of 2 video sources as well. So if you do a kind of picture-in-picture and you create a picture-in-picture template, that is classed as a video source. So even though 6 sounds quite a lot, you can easily run out. And so this is quite a big deal, the fact that they've increased this to 10. Okay, so I'm going to just have a look at that here and see whether we can add a few more video sources onto here, because at the moment I've got my little intro here and I've got a couple more. So I've only got 4 on here. So all I want to do is try and add more than 6. So let's just add another local video onto here. You'll do. Okay, so I think that's the most videos I can have from an SD card. What I'm then going to do maybe is add a picture-in-picture video. And I'll have my main screen as my computer. And then I'll have my sub-screen as me here. And that'll do for now. So now I've got all 6 filled up. So I can, do I know? How do I get to it? Whoa. So there's my picture-in-picture. How do I get down then? No, oh, that's quite fiddly. Just to clarify, I am trying this stuff out live with you, okay? I have fiddled around a little bit and I have tried a couple of things, but I thought I'd kind of just do it live and wing it and see how it goes, because, well, it's a bit more fun that way, isn't it? So let's go back to here, and it says I can add more, so I should be able to add more, shouldn't I, onto here? And I've got this little down arrow here, but how do I actually? No, see, if I swipe like that, I just go back into my thing. So what do I have to do here to get down? Interesting. So if I take one of these out, let me just remove one of these by tapping and delete that one. Okay, so I can now add a video source onto here. And let's just add another one again. Let's do another local video. Let's do that one. Why can I not? Ah, okay, there we go. Sorry. That's my bad. So yeah, it's a bit fiddly, that actually, but I should now be able to add a second one. So let me just add a PDF. This is a PDF I did for a previous one, so that'll do. It doesn't really matter what is. Okay, so there we go. We've now got 7 video sources on here, which is cool, because that's, you weren't able to do that before. So let me just try and delete these out now and take that off. And can I just? Yeah, it's a bit fiddly actually, that moving up and down between. You got this little tiny kind of, I guess it's an Android tablet. It might be some sort of swipe that I'm not familiar with or something. It's it'll just be a sort of knack, I'm sure. But yeah, cool, that works. So there we go, 10 video sources instead of 6, which is well, it's a big plus, isn't it? What have we got second? Let's have a look on our presentation here. Create multiple multi-views. Now that in itself sounds a little counterintuitive, but what that means, I'll just go back to the screen again here. What that actually means is the multi-views that you add in. Let me just take this video source out so you can see clearly what I'm doing. These multi-views here, these picture-in-picture, side-by-side. So previously, you'd be able to have a picture-in-picture, but you might want 2 picture-in-pictures as well, because for example, I might want to put one of me with the computer, but I might also want to put one of this camera together with this camera and create both of those at the same time. You weren't able to do that previously, but you can do that now. So that's what multiple multi-views is all about. Okay, third one, picture-in-picture subscreen shapes. This is really riveting stuff, isn't it? Picture-in-picture subscreen shapes. Okay, what's that about? Well, let's go back to the YoloBox again and have a look at this, and I can show you what that is. So picture-in-picture subscreen shapes. In fact, I've already got a picture-in-picture on here, haven't I? So I'll just edit that, and you'll see that we now have here a subscreen shape. Standard here, picture-in-picture, is to have me at the bottom here in a kind of a square or some form of 4-sided shape. Whereas now we have a, what's that? Is that a rhombus or something? On its side. So, well, it's still a 4-sided shape, isn't it? What am I talking about? But we also have a circle, and I think a circle looks really quite nice. So you can select the circle there. And now if I go to my picture-in-picture with the presentation, look, we got me in the bottom right-hand side. In fact, I don't even want it like that, really. I want to have it me away from there. So I might put myself over there. Cool. Look, I think that's really neat, isn't it? Particularly together with a presentation like that. Look, I really like the circle idea rather than, automatically having the mask of the circle. That's really good. Excellent addition. Well done, guys. Well done on thinking of all these things to add to an already pretty capable box. So this is, oh yeah, I must add 2 things I want to say at this stage. All those clips at the start of the video were from ArtGrid, and the music was from Artlist. If you are interested in that kind of thing, if you're interested in music for creating content, or if you're interested in stock video, then if you use the affiliate link that I have with them, then I think you get like 2 months extra on an annual subscription or something like that. But anyway, just click the link and support the channel and all that sort of stuff. So you go to TDCat.com/artlist, which I should have typed, shouldn't I, beforehand, and had something prepped. Maybe I could do that and create a title ready to have on screen next time. But yeah, so tdcat.com/artlist or /artgrid, and that'll take you to there. And the second thing is that, of course, the box here, the YoloBox, was provided to me originally for doing kind of a review and stuff, which I haven't done yet. I haven't done the review of this. I've been waiting for 1.8, or I've been waiting for the fix that was there was a bug that was plaguing it. And I really didn't want to do a review while there was, that version hadn't been fixed, with the whole sort of like, oh yeah, they're probably going to fix that in an up and coming update. Hopefully they have now fixed it. Right. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. So yeah, so main things we've got: switch between more than 10 video sources, multiple multi-views, and picture-in-picture subscreen shapes, fade to black video transition. Now, I'm not absolutely... So I think what this relates to is... I think, is this relating to overlays? Let me just go into here and into an overlay like this. No, so that doesn't have a fade to black option on it, does it? What does that one relate to? Oh, sorry, it's a video transition, isn't it? So that's going to be in settings. Video source transitions, and here we go. So we've now got a cut and a fade to black as well. So, okay. Oh, okay. So that just fades everything out completely. Fair enough. I suppose you could want that, couldn't you? But I'm not absolutely sure what the main use of that would be for this. But I guess somebody wanted it. Somebody asked for it specifically. But there you go. That's what it does. So on the video transitions there, I just kind of cut myself off there. And so I can just hit that fade to black button, and then everything just finishes, I suppose. Or you can just fade to black and just cut everything temporarily, I guess, and then maybe bring it back or something. Anyway, someone put down in the comments if anyone's watching, you can kind of think of a really good use for that. Because fade to black was something that always existed on all video cameras in the 80s. I remember you always had the option. Those huge video cameras, you always had the option with a fade to black. So all videos always just had fade to black, and then started again, then faded to black, and that was the only transition that could be done digitally, I think, in those days. Anyway, let's move on. What else have we got? All right, auto hide overlays with a preset duration. It's very, very sort of structured way of doing it, but yeah. So just switching back to the YoloBox again. So I've got my overlays here, and if I just put that over the screen there, you can see as I tap that, the overlay comes on top. And I think we should be able to auto hide that. So we can type in a duration here and just say, I want this to get rid of it after, why did I go this way round? Maybe let's just try this see whether we can do it for 10 seconds. I really should have I've gone down 50 seconds rather than going up 10 seconds. Smart. All right, let's give this a go. So, turn that overlay on. There's no countdown showing, nothing like that. It is just, yeah, it's not going to tell me when it's going to drop it again. There we go. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that works. That's good enough. All right. What else do we have? So that's it for the video additions that they've added. But we now have a couple of new audio features, and I've been having a play with these, and have found that they're not without their little glitches, I would say. Maybe it's just my experience or my particular setup or something like that. They're not absolutely perfect, but I'm really, really happy that they've done this. Really happy that they've added this. So I'll move on to the first one. And this is, of course, is the big one as far as I'm concerned, because I just love my audio stuff. The first one here is enhanced USB audio support, including the Rodecaster Pro. Now, I mentioned the Rodecaster Pro, and in fact, they mentioned the Rodecaster Pro too, but I think this will probably refer to other USB kind of mixers, audio mixers, and just other audio sources in general, because previously you could plug in an audio source. So, for example, the Rode Wireless Go mics worked okay. The Wireless Go 2 mics, sorry, the ones that have the USB sound capability. they work okay on this box, as does a couple of USB mics that I've tried. They work all right, but I plugged the Rodecaster in and that didn't work at all, which meant, for me at least, I had to take my Rodecaster out into my Mac and then take the HDMI out and use that as my audio feed. And that's what I was doing previously. Whereas now, all the audio that you've heard today has been through this here at the top, this USB port at the top. And I'm using USB-A, and there's a good reason for that, because I tried on USB-C and the audio worked fine on USB-C, but then I tried to play that intro video and it just was doing about 2 frames per second. It was like as if it was an absolute CPU bottleneck of some kind, and it just wouldn't play. So I don't know what was going on there. I don't know whether that's a bug or whether it's something that I discovered just on my particular setup. But yeah, so the USB-C side didn't work. USB-A has been absolutely fine. Plugged it into USB-A, waited for it to set up, and the video played perfectly. So who knows? Don't know. The video was on the SD card, by the way, in the YoloBox. The other thing I noticed when plugging this in is that what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so when I initially plugged it in, the headphones, the audio just wasn't showing on the screen and it wasn't coming through at all until I plugged a pair of headphones into the YoloBox, and then the audio came through, and then I unplugged the pair of headphones and then it worked. It was weird. It's like it wouldn't finish setting up the audio device or something like that until I'd actually plugged in a pair of headphones on the YoloBox. And I don't tend to use headphones on the YoloBox for the simple fact that it's got a massive delay on it. I can't listen to myself in my headphones and have a huge delay on it. It just doesn't work for me at all. So this is, I hope, is working fine. I mean, you let me know. Does this sound okay? This is my Rode Broadcaster mic here, going into the Rodecaster and coming out and plugged in via USB. I've tried it on multi-track on the Rodecaster too, and that works fine too, which is brilliant. So let's just try a little bit of music quickly as well. I'm guessing it's going to be fine. I mean, it's not like it's going to be mono or anything, is it? I will just test that quickly, though. I do have something on here to verify that. Let's just do a quick pan test. I can't believe how nerdy this all feels. Sometimes I'm just sat here chatting about updates to a live streaming box, but it's cool. I mean, I love this thing. It's brilliant. This is some audio in the left-hand channel, and this is some audio in the right-hand channel. Yeah, that works. This is audio in both channels. And the fact that I've got that available and to hand, the fact that it's there available makes it even worse. Right. Okay, where am I with that again? Let's just go back onto there. So yeah, so this is all from the Rodecaster, and I'm really, really happy that they've added that. Brilliant addition, best addition, one of the best additions I've seen so far to kind of streamline that audio and get this tablet, effectively a tablet, an Android tablet, working with the Rodecaster Pro. Brilliant stuff. Okay, what have we got in addition to that? Line-in now supports stereo. Why it didn't in the first place, I don't know. And a mic-in, I understand, might be mono, but line-in, why would you have a mono line-in? I actually thought that they had taken the ports at the back here, so the 2 ports that are here. I thought they'd kind of taken the left channel of one and the right channel of the other and just kind of made them do their own separate things. I thought, well, maybe what they've got on the board is they've got one audio port available and they've just kind of split the left and right channel, because the line-in worked on the left channel and the mic-in worked on the right channel. Anyway, it does seem to work now, so I will try that out, though. They're saying it does. And I realised, oh, can I do it? I've left my phone. I tell you what I'll do. I'm just gonna see if I can just generate some noise on the cable with it. I wonder whether that'll work. Which is the line in? Which is Okay, so the line in is the one next to the power. Oh, cool. Bob White WO3B, Whiskey Oscar 3 Bravo, says he's tried the Zoom P4 and the Zoom H6, and they both work as well. Fantastic. I assume you mean the audio as an audio interface there. I'm guessing that's what you're referring to there. Okay. Oh, sorry. Audio mixing is not supported for USB-A and blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah. That's the other thing, actually. One of the other downsides is that when you are using this with USB audio, you are tied to only USB audio. Big bit of a downside, but theoretically, I suppose, if you are using USB audio, you then have, of course, got your mixer elsewhere, so you probably don't really need to play around with the audio so much on this. But anyway, so this might mess things up a bit. I'm just going to try switching my audio off for a second and trying the line in. Is there any line in showing? So there is a line in showing on there. Let's just have a look and see if we can. So I'm going to just turn this off. There we go. A scientific test, if ever I heard one or saw one. That was I'm pretty sure that was definitely both channels there, wasn't it? I've got my two little monitors here on the screen in front of me, both showing their audio, the audio levels on my output, and I did see activity in the left and right channels. So if you're listening to this and you just got a load of like on like both channels or whatever, then just give me a thumbs up or something in the comments. Would be appreciated. Thank you. So yeah, cool. They've added line in stereo support. Again, as I say, probably should have had that in the past, shouldn't they? They should have done that from the start, but anyway, we'll let it go. Audio gain now up to 30 dB. I don't know. I don't particularly need that myself. Maybe some people find that useful if they've got particularly low level devices. But for me, that's not an issue. The level, again, when you're using an audio mixer, the levels are done on the audio mixer itself, so you don't really need to mess about with the levels on the YoloBox, which is a good thing because it's not exactly the best audio mixer interface. And finally, fixed audio mixer issue. I left that one a little vague intentionally. What I'm referring to there is the massive cock up, if you'll excuse my language, that I did in the previous live stream where I was kind of double tracked across almost the whole video. When what had happened was the audio was coming in from HDMI 1 as well as HDMI 3, even though HDMI 1 was turned off and visibly turned off in the audio mixer, but it would kind of sporadically just punch audio through from that particular track as well, and then the only, obviously the way around that was to disconnect the mic from my camera, from the camera going into HDMI 1. So that was a bug, and I think they didn't actually specify that bug in particular, but I'm guessing they will have fixed that on this particular release. Okay, what else have we got? Other features. Don't you think this presentation is like really organized and really, so honestly I feel like I'm at work. What have we got? Encoding option for 50 frames per second. I didn't know that they didn't have that previously, actually. It was only 60 frames per second, because I know they added 60 frames per second last time, and then had a load of caveats around it as well, saying, well, you can use 60 frames per second, but probably don't, because it might cause some problems. We're not going to tell you what problems, but it might cause some problems. So watch where you go with that. Which, I don't know, is that the same for 50 frames per second? Anyway, I've just come to the conclusion that 6 megabits per second at 30 frames per second at 1080p is quite sufficient for a live stream. And hopefully the quality of this is perfectly good enough for you. All right, what else? USB-C storage option for extra media. So they have added the ability to use the USB-C port on the back to put in some more storage. Simple as that. So, you know, it's pretty much what it says on the presentation there. So that you can use like a USB drive and like just a little kind of SanDisk thing or whatever. I've got my Blackmagic camera here, one of the SanDisk, those little caddy SanDisk drives, so SSD storage, and you can use that for more storage if you want. I think the only limitation there might be that because I'm using the USB-A port for audio, I don't think you can use both USB ports at the same time. Because earlier, when I had the audio plugged into the USB-C socket, I tried to plug in a webcam into USB-A, which usually works fine, and that didn't work. So I'm not too sure. Anyway, there are options on the actual box itself now. If you go into settings, let me just go out of here, and we go down to the bottom here, you see that we now have a new section, which is storage settings, and we can switch here between SD card and USB storage, which again is nice that they've added that. I'll come on in a second to what they really, really should add, and I would absolutely love, though, that is just my own, I'm really talking about my own personal use here. Everyone has their different needs. But I'll come on to that in a moment. So there we go, USB-C storage option. Finally, on this interesting presentation, video, live stream on the YoloBox version 1.8 firmware or whatever it is, I have my wish list. These are the things that I would like to see on the YoloBox. Just before I get to that, however, I will just go through just one or two comments here. So yes, as audio, the P4 should add the option of audio guests, but I haven't tried that yet. Okay. And from Good Sport Video Productions, quick tech question: have you ever seen this message? Have you revoked the authorization? Please rebind. It appears every time I go live on YouTube. No, I haven't. So no good with that tech question. Have you revoked the authorization? No, sorry, I can't help you on that. I just do what the rest of the world does and Google it. I'm sure if that is a valid error message, it'll be there on Google for you. Right, so my wish list, and what I'd like to just ask you to do at this point is if there is something a feature that you would really like to see on this device, then stick it down in the comments and just have it in the live chat there, or just if you're watching this video after the stream, which to be honest I think probably most people are, then put in the comments what you think would be a really, really nice feature to have on here. It doesn't matter how kind of crazy it is, or how kind of like just like obviously not going to happen type of thing, because of course this will be replaced, this one, and they'll build a new model with a faster CPU, and it'll be, you know, be able to do much more, and maybe be even larger than this one, because the original YoloBox was kind of like that big, wasn't it, or something, and then this one's now this big, so undoubtedly they're just going to get larger and larger. Jackie 14 Foxtrot Romeo Sierra 119, Best 73 from Normandy, France. Hi to you. Oh, I like to see the live chat when I do streams as I interact with my subscribers. So World of Radio, Al 26 Tango Charlie 101 S. Sierra. It's a small S, so I'm going to pronounce it Sierra, S rather than Sierra for some reason. I don't know. So you'd like to see live chat. Yeah, it is possible to do that actually. The comments in your live chat are usually in here. Now, the reason it says this on here is because I'm not using the YoloBox in the same way as I have done previously. If I go to my little section here, you can see that I'm using the RTMP side of things rather than the YouTube side of things. So if you connect with the YouTube side there, what the YoloBox will do is create a new stream key and a dedicated stream key for every single stream. It has to effectively redo it all every time, and it's kind of annoying because you end up with just a massive bunch of keys in your live studio, as opposed to just reusing the same stream key, which is what you would normally do. You'd set up the stream on YouTube, which I can't show you because I haven't got the camera to hand. But if you're in sort of your YouTube studio, and you'll be familiar with the live kind of side of things, and yeah, you normally just kind of use one or two keys, or maybe one for each device. Whereas this thing just sets a new one up every time with that. But anyway, the comments do work when you use YouTube. But I realised once I'd enabled this today that I wasn't going to be able to put comments up on the screen. So sorry about that. You can just look at them in the video at the side. The other thing I've noticed actually is that when you finish a live stream on YouTube, it takes ages for that live chat to become available again. It has to do all of its stuff first. I thought once the SD version had processed and was all sorted, it would be okay. But I think it all has to sort itself out first to be able to replay the live stream comments. Okay. Back to what was I doing? Back to my wish list here. Final page of the presentation, I promise. This is again sort of thing I would say at work. Yeah, last page of the presentation, I promise. I won't keep you too much longer. And yeah, the first thing I have is mixing with USB audio, and that comes back to what I was saying a second ago here. That because I'm using USB audio here, if I try and enable USB audio from the HDMI 1. Well, I can't. It just says, sorry, audio mixing is not supported. So I have no options now to mix anything without first disabling the USB audio. And that made it quite awkward at the start here, because I played this video, the kind of intro video, and I had to disable USB audio, switch to local video 1, and it played the video, and then switch back to the main video to stop this replaying, and then switch back. And that doing that on your own is kind of difficult. Doing all the stuff as one person gets really difficult. And that's sort of what these things are designed for. They're designed to be used simply and easily out and about. So the simpler the interface is, the better. So anyway, the fact that USB audio can't be mixed is just a bit of a pain, I think. Okay. And better file management options, FTP, SMB, etc. Yes, absolutely. And what I mean by that is it's all very well having additional media in the back. So being able to plug a USB-C into the back here, or USB-A, and store media there. It's all very well being able to take out the SD card from here. What I want to see on this device is the ability to just have an FTP server running, which you could absolutely do. I mean, if you just sort of broke into this device, there are videos on how to do that online. You could install an FTP server and probably have one running in the background, and then you could just put files in the relevant area, on the SD card, or you could just put, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there are ways that it could be done to have an FTP server, or it could be SFTP or FTPS or whatever, and or have it as a kind of just a share option. So you have a drive, a shared network drive that you can see on your PC or on your Mac, and you can just connect and drop stuff into the SD card directly. Because there are so many times when I'll be creating I could create a PDF document. This presentation, I mean, I'm doing it from a computer here to allow sort of animations and things, but I could do that as a PDF. But it's just that whole sort of getting the file out and just putting it onto the SD card, and then thinking, oh God, I could do with this picture as well. And so what you want is just that ability to just go bang and send it straight across. It's permanently connected, and yeah, that would be absolutely fantastic as far as I'm concerned. All right, what is next? What did I pick now? I've forgotten what I did. Reusing of stream keys for your YouTube. So that just goes back to what I was talking about before, whereby when you when you schedule something, you just recreate another stream key every time. So you end up with a big list of them as you're going along. Save monitor setup templates, because at the moment, when you're in here, and then you sort of click back to go out, and then you can either choose a live stream option or a monitor option. The monitor being just kind of doing everything on the device as you would normally. It's almost like a kind of test bed for the testing on the device. You can do everything as you would normally, you're just not live streaming. But it doesn't save the template. Every time you go in to monitor, you've got to reset everything up. You've got to add in your picture-in-pictures again. You've got to add all that stuff. And that's true for live streams as well. It does save some of the encoding options on here. So, you can set, kind of, I said before, 6 megabits per second, 30 frames per second. All that type of stuff gets saved. But all these here don't get saved. And they're the things, I just want those to be kept in a template, to be able to just save a couple of templates for monitoring and testing things out. Equally on the live stream too. All right, how many did I have of these? Nicer audio mixer interface and manual level entry. I've mentioned this one before. I mean, the audio mixer is just, I don't mind so much now that it's got the ability to use the Rodecaster directly in. But the audio mixer side of things, I feel that the audio is just a little bit more forgotten on here compared to the video. And it shouldn't be, because the audio side of things is like super important. Getting your audio right on anything like this is so important. Equally as important, if not more so. So I just think that, all this is just mega fiddly to use, and you need to be able to type in these levels because you can't accurately get them back to zero. There's no reset or reset to default or anything like that. So they could make some nice changes to that particular interface. Okay, and is this the last one? Passive cooling, and it says in brackets there that I can dream, because obviously it's not going to happen. But I work in a room here where my monitor in front of me, the monitor that's got the live feed coming out of the YoloBox, is passively cooled. It's just a small kind of it's not a small HD one, it's a cheap one, but it's that type of thing, right? It's not, it hasn't got any fans in it. The MacBook hasn't got any fans in it. Nothing's got any fans in it at all. The only thing that sits there whizzing away with this high-pitched kind of fan is the YoloBox. And I get it. It needs to. It's doing stuff, and it's a small, compact unit. It doesn't have anywhere to dump the heat. So that's the exact reason why I put kind of, I can dream. But passive cooling on this thing would be really nice to have. And finally, auto switching duration timers, because they added auto switching onto here. I'll just take a look at it here. So you've got all kind of your video sources, and you can switch between them, and you can have a main video source so that if you do a loop, it'll do kind of camera 1, camera 4, camera 2, camera 4, camera 3, camera 4, camera 4, so you have a dominant camera, if you like. But what I would also like on here is to be able to say, well, during that loop, I want to be able to do camera 1 for 15 seconds, then back to camera 4 for 30 seconds or something like that, and then do camera 2 for 15 seconds, then do camera, and then go back for longer, just because that main camera is likely to need to be longer than all your other cameras. And that, I don't know, I just think that would be a really nice thing to have. And I think that was it. Yes, look at that. It's come out of my presentation for me. Fantastic. Okay. Well, there we go. That is a look at the YoloBox version 1.8 firmware. If you're watching this after the event, then thank you for watching. Is that right? After the event? No, if you're watching now anyway, if you're watching now or you have been watching during this, then thank you very much. It's good to have you with me on these live streams. I do find them quite a stressful thing to do. I mean, they're good fun, but there's so much to sort out. I do, it gives me a respect for sort of people who do TV and stuff professionally, when there's just so much to do and look at and think about at the same time. So yeah, I do find them quite stressful to set up and do, but I also do find it fun too. So if you got, as I mentioned before, if you have any suggestions on your sort of wish list, what you would like to see on the YoloBox Pro, then stick it down in the comments. But for now, I will catch you soon. And thank you very much for the comments in the live chat, by the way. From just a quick comment here, 2 pineapples, when live streaming, it would be nice to see how many people are on the stream without having to check another device. Well, you know what? You're right, actually. The options to see anything related to that, I mean, even the comments bit really is quite kind of limited. It's you know, you can, as I mentioned before, you can tap this button here, but it's still quite fiddly to put people up, and then you got to turn them off again. The comments, you turn each individual comment off again. It isn't that sort of good in that way, and as a result, I have to have another computer here. So I've got my main computer over there with the presentation on and stuff, and then I've got another computer sat in front of me with just the kind of comments bit on and things like that. So yeah, it would be nice to have a little bit more, just be able to see what's going on, because as a live streaming device, this is an amazing bit of kit, and although it's designed for sort of mobile use, and I really feel like I want to take it out and about at some point and just try kind of hotspotting to my phone and using the 5G on my phone and just giving that side of things a try, just because. But also as a device here, just to have on the desk and just use as part of a main live stream setup in a room, it works brilliantly too. But yeah, that is a big limitation. Sorry, slightly long answer there too, or long comment there. But thank you very much for joining me. Anyway, as I say, thanks to Two Pineapples, Good Sport Video Productions, Al, Jackie, and Bob in the comments, and anyone who watches after the live stream too. I'll see you soon. Bye.